People, welcome back to Politics Watch. This is Sir P. Now, today we're going to look into the very tragic circumstances that led to the death of 44-year-old Susan Bogle, right? Now, people, of course, you can see, I'm doing this video almost, let's call it a week late. That is all by design. See, whenever things like this happen, and these kind of cases come up, I like to just sit back for a while and make the circus go ahead. Because the days, especially the day after and the 2-3 days when the story extra hot, that's when the loudest people take the forefront, start to say all kind of ridiculous knee-jerk things, a lot of which sometimes is completely untrue, right? And I don't like to get caught up in that. So I like to sit back, make the circus go on. Then when the clout chasers jump onto another hot story, right, and them start to move away from this, that's when I like to step in and start work. So people, we're going to cover this Politics Watch style. Now, let me ask a question before this video go any further. How many Jamaicans heard the initial story? You know, the story where social media was pushing, or the narrative that social media was pushing, that JDF launched some kind of operation to go shoot disabled lady in her bed. How many people hear that story, and when it first reached them ears, them say, yeah man, that makes sense as to it go? How many people thought that? Tell me in the comment section. Or how many people thought, no man, something can't write this up? Surely the Jamaica Defence Force no left up park here to go shoot disabled woman in a bed. Something must be wrong there. There must be more to the story. How many people think that? I really hope it's the latter, because if it's the prior and people believe say and people hear something like that and accept it, then trust me, we have serious problems. We have really serious problems. People of Jamaica, I'm going to use the residents' words. Forget about the soldier them. Right? Forget about the soldier them. Right now we know anything from them. We could look on the residents them word, right? And break down the story as to what happened as best as we can without obviously having all the forensics and them kind of thing there. People, let's go back to what the residents are saying. Please look at your screen right now. Pay close attention to the two sentences in my circle, right? The top one said them saw 3 shots, you get 3 shots. That is very, very important. You really need to hang around to hear why that could be a major detail in this case in terms of helping us to get some answers. Now, the second part is the circle at the bottom. It says, residents reported that soldiers chased someone into the building. Right? Now, that is, right, now we see where I go with this, right? So, the original narrative is dead, right? And for those of you who don't know what the original narrative were, or who never hear it, or I would like to think you're not surrounded with a lot of Simple Simons, but this was the original narrative. When it first reached my ears, this is what me get, and this is what was coming out in the streets and on social media.
Jesus, peas. JDF left all from camp, go up to Augustone, go shoot the innocent woman in her bed, woman of them nothing. Then just left, go shoot down back camp for no reason whatsoever. Them so wicked. And nothing no come out that police they investigate and no come out that want justice cause nothing no come out that see case that should nothing no come out that boy them wicked.
Alright people, closer to the end of the video, after I get through what the residents say, went down, we're going to look into that whole argument, say, oh, them cases get investigated and nothing no come out of this and nothing no come out of that. We're going to look into some Indicom numbers concerning how many people JDF mash up, because the narrative is now going around that every day, every week, every minute JDF are down somebody. So we're going to actually look into the numbers. But before we go any further, or before we reach this, let's go back to what the residents say. So now you see it start. Residents them say the soldier them chase someone into a building, right? So them a run down somebody, right? Possibly at 87, we don't know, but them a run down somebody. They went on the apps and them a chase somebody, and the person run, go in at the yard where Susan Bogle live, right? So right away, the any kind of narrative was suggests that she was the target and all that, immediately go through the window, or at least is starting to go through the window. Make a look upon what the rest of the things them the residents them say. Again, please look at your screen right now. A lady named Miss Freckleton, who is the mother of Susan Bogle, says, and I quote, "A soldier shoot her. Cause the soldier man a ball. The soldier man a ball, say at the wrong, somebody them shoot." End quote. She goes on to state, "Two soldier, when they come out and them a what go down here so, them a cry." End quote. People of Jamaica, are we now starting to see what happened here? These are not JDF words. These are not this is not the police word or nobody a try. These are the words them what the residents them a say. Right? This is the mother of the victim. The residents them said this. The soldier man a ball. The soldier man a ball say at the wrong somebody them shoot. Right? Two soldier when them come out and them a walk along and so, them a cry. Big man a ball. So right away, we see say this is some kind of monumental screw up. Some sort of mistake happened here. But before me go in there, let me make it clear. Even though it's a mistake, I'm not saying the case forgotten. No. Because there's a difference between mistake and negligence. Right? So we need to make sure say no carelessness never go on. So the investigation, even though this is obviously a mistake, even the residents say make it clear. So this is a mistake. I am not saying that the case for done here so or I saw it go. Do not misinterpret what I'm trying to say. Right? We still need to get to the bottom of this. But the first thing I'm trying to throw out is that narrative that JDF let's go shoot innocent people and not come out there just so them just go shoot innocent people. That is a ridiculous narrative. Right? That is the first thing we want to get rid of. So that right there so, right? Now we establish that the man them run down somebody, them go after the man, and them end up shoot this lady by mistake. Hence why big man a ball, right? According to the words of the residents. Now, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you will see something very important. Very important, and I hope somebody from Indicom will listen to this, so maybe even them can help. I don't know if it even help 1% of them case. Then hey, this video is worth it. It says again, them say 3 shots again, 3 shot. And in the same article, people kept stressing over the 3 shot part. People at Jamaica understand this. The reason why that is a key part of this incident is because, as I've said before, some of the rifle them, the M4 them, the AR type rifle them, where the JDF them carry, they fire 3 round bursts. Right? The way the residents them talk about it, it sounds as if the soldier went bam, bam, bam. Now, if at that one, because he would have to be taking aimed shots, right? And if a soldier put 3 aimed shots in a Susan Bogle, right, I don't know what he made a ball for, because that would be deliberate. Do you see where I'm coming from, people? If a JDF soldier take 3 aimed shots in a Susan Bogle, I don't know where the cowball in that one for. And as the residents them say themselves, a mistake happened. So here why the 3 shot part important. Because you see, because the rifle then fire upon 3 round bursts, it means he would have squeezed the trigger 1 time, but 3 rounds jump out. This is very important. Very, very important. Because if he squeezed the trigger 1 time and 3 rounds jump out, and all 3 hit Susan Bogle, then now we're starting to see that this is leaning down towards more of the total monumental mistake, and it was clearly an accident. I think it's an accident either way, but as I say, we are trying to look upon whether a carelessness or one of those extraordinary circumstances where you're like, boy, it's tragic, the man them run past her at that very moment and them shoot off her and catch. Listen, this is what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. If Indicom can establish if the soldier had his weapon set to single burst, semi-automatic, i.e. every time you squeeze the trigger, 1 come out, bam, squeeze the trigger again, bam, or was the soldier's weapon set to 3 round bursts, where he would squeeze the trigger 1 time and go bam, bam, bam. See, that is a key detail. Indicom need to establish that. Right, we know them are the professionals and them are the experts and them get pay feed. But I also know, as far as I know, they're a civilian body, so they might not be aware of certain things. I don't want to say them. Obviously, I'm not saying they don't know how to do them job, but I just want to put it out there that somebody rifle them, fire upon 3-round burst. So when you hear as a civilian, as a Jamaican, when you hear say Susan Bogle get 3 round, it sounds dreadful, because it would be dreadful if a JDF soldier put 3 round in a woman, as in squeeze the trigger 3 times. That would be, listen, that would be downright criminal. But if in the heat of the battle, him spin round, see her, squeeze the trigger 1 time, 3 round jump out, bam bam bam, and hit her, take him on for the trigger, and she's dead. Now we have 2 complete different scenarios and 2 complete different ways how somebody needs to be punished, right? Because something will come out of this, or something have to come out of this either way. But we're looking at what kind of punishment or what kind of reprimand have to go on, because based on what went down in terms of that 3-round burst or 3 single shots, that will be a major determining factor into how we move forward. Now, here's the thing also. If the soldier entered into the house with his rifle set to 3-round bursts, that is also a problem. I'll tell you why. This is why I said the best case scenario, we're looking at terrible accident to gross negligence, right? But either way, the soldier who did this have some explaining to do, because if he went into the house with his weapon set on 3-round bursts, people at Jamaica, that is not ideal. Because in a close quarter situation, you do not want to be on a 3-round burst, going into somebody's house, going into any kind of area where civilians are. Because just by the very nature of the fact that 3 rounds are jumping out means that your weapon is less accurate, and even one of those rounds can stray. You need to be on single shot. You need to be firing on semi-automatic, 1 round, right? So it no look good. It no look good. It means that somebody skills and drills fail them, or we're talking about some serious criminal charges. Now, the fact that the resident mentioned say, the man them a ball and somebody run go into the house and then chase the person, right? And then rounds go off, right? I can start to see the picture, right? But the 3 rounds in a Susan Bogle is key. In my opinion, that is what will make or break this case, right? Those are the questions which Indicom need to get answered. As I said, this don't look good from either direction. Even if it's a 100% one of those super unlucky bad luck scenarios where the person them a chase some, let's say the person them a chase some run right in front of Susan Bogle and them shoot off her and miss, then that obviously is an accident. But if he was on 3-round bursts, then that right there is telling me that skills and drills were lacking. Now, I don't know the current latest, I don't know what I'm going to teach them, right, on a JDF. But soldiers should not be entering into civilian homes with their weapons set on 3-round burst. It needs to be on single burst. On single semi-automatic fire, right? So for me, that's the part that stands out to me. The fact that it's exactly 3 shots. And the residents then keep stressing over these 3 shots because they probably don't understand. So the weapon can make 3 jump out 1 time by pulling the trigger once, right? So that right there, I think if Indicom go start, when they must spend time and I try to figure out what went down, them can't just skim over that part, right? Leading up to it, because I'm sure them I got hear say somebody run past yes and go over here, so because initially them say oh she in her bed and they make it sound like say JDF walking at the house, see Susan Bogle up on her bed and then went bam bam bam. Now I don't need to tell you that it's criminal. I don't need to tell you that. But when time the residents them come out and say listen, somebody run going there and then run back at somebody run going at the building and then run going at the yard after the person, right? And then Susan Bogle and pick up 3 rounds. Those 3 rounds, people, as I said, for me, that right there is going to make or break this case. This is a tragedy any way you put it. Any way you put it. And as I said, whatever the scenario was, something was lacking. Something was lacking. Either that soldier, right, switched off for a minute, or was just downright careless, right? If you are going in our house with his weapon set to 3-round burst, or we're talking about some serious criminal charges, right? So the investigation have started, right? And Indicom take over the case, right? Now people, let's look into the numbers, because another narrative is that, well, I say every minute, JDF kill off people every minute, and Indicom, every minute everything on Indicom. Let's look at the numbers, shall we, people? Can we? Look at your screen right now, please. As you can see, for the entire 2019, there were only 15 incidences, right? Where Indicom have to get involved in something like this. 15 incidents, not 15 killings, not 15 shooting, not 15 people lose their life, 15 incidences. For example, the case we go on, an incident is, for example, like when the youth say JDF kick him and broke him foot, that's an incident. For 2019, there were 15 incidents. For this year, up to May, this year 28, we can just call that June, because a couple days before June, half of the year, there were 18 incidents total, including JDF. And as me say, incidents include like what it go on with the youth who broke him foot and them. Any kind of rough up treatment in the come get involved, it doesn't necessarily have to be a loss of life. Right? 18 people. The narrative that JDF is on the run, just willy-nilly and mash up people left, right and center, that is a false narrative. The numbers back that up. And even the fact that 18 were there halfway through the year and it's already more than the 15 last year, who can guess why that is? Tell me why you think it's so much higher. The 18 in 6 months is more than the 15 all last year. Come on people, have a guess. The Big C. Because of the Big C and the whole heap of curfew them and the soldiers them being used to police the curfew and coming in contact with more civilians than they normally would. And of course we always see people run up and down and all kind of chaos when time the whole Big C start and people never comply with the curfew. That is how people end up with these incidents. That is why there's more incidents this year than last year. But even that 18 figure, right, even though it's much worse than last year, and of course still 18 too high, the fact of the matter is the narrative is completely false. Those numbers do not back up any kind of reality that somehow like JDF is rampant and the looses are lit down people left, right and center, and every minute in the come if you deal with them. That simply isn't true. This is not my opinion. These are the numbers you're looking at on your screen. 15 all of 2019. That's just a little bit more than one a month, right? Now of course that's not perfect, but show me a country in the world where any military can deploy upon the streets and get some kind of incidents, right? So let's look into the police numbers and compare the police numbers. Please look at your screen, right? So the JCF, right, police, last year 2019, they had 625 incidents, right? 625 incidents. JDF had 15, right? Now, of course, the number is always going to be higher for JCF because obviously JCF is really the forefront. Well, obviously JCF is the forefront of policing. JCF is the people who go around and deal with all kind of cases, and obviously they just deal with more people on a daily basis, and naturally for them numbers that go higher. That 625 number is still extraordinarily high to me. That's way too high. Way too high, right? But I'm just giving you some context here. JDF and JCF has been deployed on the streets, right? Just call it from the old SOE start. JDF and JCF has been out in full force, right? And in 2019, there were 15 incidences, right? Where Indicom murder incidents, 15 for JDF and 625 for JCF. This year so far, JCF have 361, right? So again, them already on track for surpass last year, and again, that is due to the whole heap of curfew and them have out there police people and are getting an argument with people and fight the people, right? So, what I'm just trying to say here, these numbers need to come down, obviously, especially JCF number. I mean, 625, that is way too high. However, narrative is important. And people have to be careful with the kind of things they're going to put out there and make people accept as fact. The idea that JDF just run rampant and just let people left, right, and center. People, you only say that because now we're living in a social media age where every single incident is blown up 10 times more. So it sounds like, say, every minute, every day I see it. No, the numbers don't lie. All of 2019, there were 15 cases. This year, there were only 18. Again, all them numbers need to come down, but still, the narrative is false. JCF clearly have more work to do, but again, they will argue and tell you that, listen, we do more straightforward police work, so naturally our numbers are going to be higher, right? But we have work to do, people, right? I don't want nobody misinterpret and make it look like something I say, yeah, JDF and JCF, load them alone. No, especially JCF, that 625 number, need to come down. JDF, even though it was 18 or 15 or whatever, you need to come down. But people, be careful. Some of the things that people are trying to pass on as facts, because when things like the Susan Bogle incident go down, the things that people that say simply were not true, right? And let me tell you something. Jamaica is one of the hardest countries on earth for police. Jamaican citizens are some of the hardest people on earth for police, right? We know police, and we have all the corruption of the force. We have corruption at JDF, sure. People, the man them out there under some serious pressure, right? The last thing them want is if you have to deal with this false narrative, say, especially JDF, that the man them go out there and shoot people left, right, and center, and then just get up and just go shoot disabled people in the bed for no reason whatsoever. People, that's ridiculous, right? And you know what's a strange thing? The same Jamaican people who ball about them thing are the same Jamaican people who say, police just go shoot them, police just go shoot them and do this and do that. But when time things get rough, the same people them say, oh, them are wicked and let's come to kill off people and not come out tired, poor people. People of Jamaica, please be consistent. Be consistent. Remember now, some of you people believe that Indicom shouldn't even exist. You know? Don't forget that. You know? Some of you believe Indicom shouldn't even exist. Right? I'm a matter of fact, you know, you start to see why I did that Indicom video. That wasn't my accident. I purposely did the Indicom video before I did this video, so that people understand why we need an Indicom. It's cases like this, right? So now, look, you see where the reports come back to, right? And if we not hear something will sound like, say, yeah, all right, that sound plausible, right? Then people can say justice this and justice that. But the case happened, and within 2 hours, man, I say, yo, petition call, we're not gonna just, like, what? Investigators need time for work, people, right? This is why I'm just make it blow off, get a week. Notice all of them cases, I always just give them a week or 2. Just sit back and make the circus go on. Because that is what people really want to do on social media, realize no people are interested in the truth. Man just have a narrative and them are running that. So, anyway, let's see what come out of it. Patreon squad, big up on yourself. Please like, comment, and share the video. Bless.